Hi, my name is Grace Fennick, and today we're going to go over Project 2. This consists of going over our topic, which is waste management issues in Detroit, and also just our outline for this project, so how we're going to be working together to complete these goals. My partners for this project are Saeed, Michael, and Ben. Just our backgrounds and qualifications. Saeed is a sophomore information technology student, and he's done some prior research on this topic before. Michael is a junior chemical engineering student, and he has 3 years of work experience. I am also a junior chemical engineering student, and I have 2 years of application engineering experience. And then Ben is also a junior chemical engineering student, and he has worked in multiple leadership positions. So our structure for this project or this presentation is first we're going to go over why lack of waste management is a problem in Detroit. So we're going to talk about some of the reasons that happen in the city and kind of going into our goals for this project and how we plan to work with Green Living Science to accomplish our goals to eliminate this issue. Then we're going to go into rules and accountability, and then our forms of communication we use, which would be direct and indirect communication. We're going to go over our schedule, so that's our plan to get our goals done, and then our final thoughts and just answer some questions that you guys may have. So first, we're going to look into why waste management is an issue. So first of all, waste contaminates the environment. If you look in the city and there's overfilled trash, it makes its way on the sides of the streets. Eventually, when rain comes in, it washes into our Detroit River and eventually into our lakes. This contaminates them, so it harms our wildlife and also eventually can harm our drinking water. So you want to try avoiding that as much as possible. Also, when trash decomposes, chemicals are released. This makes its way into our soil and into the foods that we eat. It's dangerous for residents and wildlife. Any type of needles or anything that might have blood or any saliva and trash. We don't want kids or animals getting in contact with that. And also, trash is, for the most part, inedible, and we don't want wildlife or any of our kids picking it up and mistaking it as food. It also makes the city feel unwelcoming. Trash-filled streets and sidewalks are not very attractive for out-of-town tourists, and it's also not very attractive for the residents. We don't want to walk out or see pictures of our city covered in trash. We want a nice, clean city that makes our residents happy. So I'm going to turn it over to Michael.
Hello, everybody. I am Michael, and I'm going to be talking about the problems again, and then of course our main objective. So, as Grace said from before, we have the main problems of the waste in Detroit is basically we lack having waste disposal throughout the city, and with that leads to the trash buildup, and that can, of course, we said trash buildup on the sidewalks, and then obviously leading to um our water systems, and that's very harmful to the animals living in the water, and also to us as well when we want to, of course, have access to drinking water. And then, of course, as I just said from before, we have the sidewalks and the streets, and having trash all over the sidewalks and the streets is not appealing to the eye. And when somebody thinks of course, Detroit, we don't want to think about the trash and the waste all around Detroit. Rather, we want to think of the beautiful things in Detroit. And so, in order to do that, we have, of course, our objectives and our main goals to take care of these problems. And I believe Grace mentioned the organization we want to work with. That is the Green Living Science, um, and this organization is very good with what they do when it comes to waste management. They are working with recycling as that's their main thing right now, and basically um, making recycling very accessible. And so we want to obviously, of course, make waste bins also accessible. So to, of course, prevent the trash buildup that we mentioned from before. And then again, so the main thing is if we can have those waste bins accessible to all the residents, and then the company around Detroit, hopefully we can make the streets clean and reduce the amount of waste all around Detroit. And of course, we need to find some sort of funding. That is of course one of our biggest objectives. We need to fund this. Of course, we want to work with Green Living Science, but we also want to make sure that this is an ongoing thing where we have also people who care as much as we do when it comes to keeping their city clean. And in order to do so, we want to have maybe some sort of volunteers or people who are willing to maintain the trash bins that we put out. And of course, we don't want any trash bins, getting wrecked, or also having trash bins full. so that people can't use them, and then of course leading back to the excess buildup. And we of course we do not want that. We want to make sure that everything is clean and everybody has access to any sort of trash bin when they're walking around the city. And so, in order to do this, in order to actually execute this plan and execute these objectives, we have set roles for this project and also for this, just again for this. So we have Saeed, who is our organizer. He's going to be creating and sharing documents and PowerPoints and proofreading all of our work before we submit. We want to make sure everything is perfect and make sure that, you know, when we are working with our organization and also just presenting ourselves, we want to make sure that we have the best we present ourselves in the best way. Me, I'm going to be the project manager. I am going to be making sure that everything is, you know, everything is set in stone when I create some weekly meeting schedules in order for everybody to accommodate for this. So for example, you know, if somebody's not able to do something, we'll definitely work around that. And in order to do that, of course, we want to communicate, and I want to communicate with all my members, and we want to make sure that again everyone is on the same page, everyone is doing their tasks, everyone is doing everything, doing what they need to do in order for this to be a success for us. And then we have Grace, who is our surveyor, and she is going to be developing a survey or surveys and by using Google Forms, and so that we can be looking at pollution concerns and possible solutions. Of course, you know, we want to see what the people of Detroit basically what the people of Detroit think about the waste in Detroit, and we want to hear from them. And you know, of course, hearing what they think what we should do, or at least ideas, is also really good to know. And then again, of course, we want to take that information and we want to present it and, you know, create a report, of course, and that's what Grace will be doing. And then lastly, we have Ben, who is going to be our contactor. He's going to be contacting the organization, again, that is Green Living Science, and hopefully getting in touch with them and making this all happen where we can collaborate and work with this group. And again, of course, we want to all do a fair share amount of research. We want to all be as familiar with what we are doing and what we are working towards. So of course, we're going to split up research amongst all.
Hello, I'm Saeed, and here's our accountability for our teams as well as the projects we'll be working on, starting with the first one, which is updates weekly based on our schedule. This is where we text each other every few days to keep each other on track. This here helps notify the team on the progress of assigned tasks for each team member and gives the ability, giving added help from other team members where another team member can proofread and revise the work from that team member and to find and correct errors. Next will be that give notice to group. If you have a busy week and are unable to complete given tasks for the week, this will notify the team if a team member is facing a time conflict and can't finish their part on time due to personal or academic reasons, such as being busy with other classes. We can adjust the plan to work for that team member and try to have that part of the project completed on time. Lastly will be if a team member is consistently not completed their work every week, they will be contacted to see what is going on. We will create a plan to prevent this from continuing to happen. This means that notifying the team member to stay on task and making sure that team member's part of the project is following the scheduled plan while making sure each team member has to do an equal amount of work and keeps it fair for all team members. Here is our forms of communication, starting with Discord being our direct form of communication, allowing for the team to work on the project together. Direct messaging such as texting and emailing will be our forms of indirect communication and allows us to update the progress of each team member's tasks.
Hi, I'm Ben Thompson, and I'm going to be talking about the schedule and our final thoughts on this project. Now, to start out with the schedule, we're going to be conducting an observational study around October 10th. This is where the members of our group are going to be going out throughout Detroit to just look at the state of Detroit, to see the waste management that is going on right now. This is going to be an ongoing study throughout the semester, so there is no end date to it. Now, our needs assessment, we're going to start that around October 16th, which then we're going to hopefully wrap it up around October 21st. And so our survey, we're going to pass that around October 18th. And this is also going to be an ongoing survey, which throughout the semester, we're going to get more and more responses. And then when we do our final report, we're going to collect all those responses and see what everyone is saying throughout Detroit. Our secondary research, we're going to start that as well on October 18th. And that's also going to be an ongoing research thing. We're all going to be researching topics on other cities that have problems with waste management. And so our progress report presentation, we're going to start that around October 20th and finish it up around October 28th. And our formal proposal document throughout the semester, that's going to be going throughout the semester. We're going to be adding to the document throughout the semester, and we're going to wrap that up around December 13th. And our formal proposal presentation, that as well, we're going to be adding throughout the semester, and we're going to be conducting our presentation around December 16th and hopefully wrapping it up there. And so a few of our final thoughts is waste management is essential to maintain a functioning and healthy city. We don't want any trash on the streets, so we want to make it look good for everyone, residents and tourists. And so with the help of Green Living Signs, we hope to provide access to disposable bins to all residents of and businesses of Detroit. Our research and surveys, that will help us understand how waste management affects the people of Detroit. It's also going to help us locate where is most needed. And our secondary research will help us create solutions by comparing them to other cities that may have similar problems but have become better. Our goal is to create a welcoming and safe city for all the people to enjoy Detroit, either tourists or residents. And so some questions that you guys may have is, why would Green Living Science want to help us with our project? Green Living Science already deals with waste management and teaching people how to throw away trash, where they can throw away trash. And we hope to bring to light the bigger issue of all of Detroit to Green Living Science.
Another question that you guys may ask is, how would you get people to stop littering around the city? Even with implementing more trash bins around the city, as of course, it's not like we don't have any trash bins at all, but because we already have some trash bins, people might think that having more may not have an effect. But we believe that having it has to be in a certain circumstance where basically you have a trash bin very relatively close enough so that, say you're walking down the street or walking down the sidewalk, you see a trash bin, and then the next thing you know, you see another trash bin. And that's really, really key here, because some trash bins are very, very separated. And say somebody is eating something or somebody wants to throw something away, having that accessibility, we do believe having that accessibility is key to of course reducing the amount of waste on the sidewalks and of course everywhere in Detroit.
So question 3, what would Green Living Science help with? It would help with providing more trash bins as well as recycling bins, and make it way accessible and easier for people to throw away their trash.
And then what is our plan to get surveys out to residents? Using social media, especially getting these surveys out to students who will hopefully share those with their family, which we will put in the survey to help make sure students try to share these with people they know. So using social media, Snapchat, Instagram, and also using our academia boards and getting these surveys out to people. So thank you guys for listening, and we hope you enjoy.
Thank you.